Welcome back, PlayBASIC coders. Okay, it's the 7th of November 2025. So where are we at with this thing? The compiler hasn't changed in the last few months. All the changes have been to the secondary tools, and there's a tool that builds the help files, a tool that builds the runtimes, all that kind of stuff. They were old and had to be updated. The main changes lately have been to the documentation. We're trying to flesh out the documentation as much as possible, which, you know, sounds easy, I guess, but takes a bit of time. If you've seen your older docs, you'd notice the change straight away. We've got a new search bar in the bottom there. Tutorial section, libraries, command sets. Now, introductions, kind of the about section, has been brought into its own section. Command set's pretty much all the same stuff you would have seen before. There has been changes made to the documentations and some commands added and bits and pieces, but most of the changes have been occurring outside of that. A few more libraries have been documented. There's a file library now. There's kind of helper files for like loading a text file to a string or loading a text file to an array, that kind of stuff. So, or saving them as well. So there's the kind of optional extras that you don't really need built in, but they're handy to have there when you do need them. Like loading a file to a bank, that kind of. You pull in the include, call the function, that's it. This code is optional, so you don't really have to have it in your application all the time. That's the best thing about libraries in general, so we can add functionality without bloating out the rest of the runtime, which is very bloated as it is, but trying to avoid that as much as we possibly can. If you don't know, there's like an animation library in here, just a simple frame sheet animation library. It's been there for ages. What else we got there? Tutorials. Sorry, getting ahead of ourselves. One I did add the other day was the thing called ImageGen, which is just kind of a way of making simple, like procedural images. So it's checkerboard function, concentric rings, make some strips. So you can kind of make these patterns and then use the patterns, you know, as placeholders or whatever you want, you know, some gradient functions or whatever. I think I'll add some more of those there too. It's a diagonal one of those too, isn't there? Diagonal strip. Yeah, make a pattern. Again, they're just for sort of making it pattern, and they don't need to be included all the time. So if you find that you need one, pull them in, use it, whatever. Tutorial section's growing. This is where I'm spending most of my time lately. I still don't love some of this layout, but that's okay. I've got some of the older tutorials that have made their way into the documentation, like the IDE example here. It's quite a lengthy one. That has a few videos that go with it too, so you can click on those, and I think it takes you out of the help. So you need to grab the link here and paste it into your browser. I can't let that work in here because it actually crashes the help, because this is just a HTML view, but it's a very old HTML view, and it doesn't actually render the YouTube site correctly all by itself. I've tried to get it to work, but it doesn't want to work. Much fun. Some new stuff in here, display basics, some primitive kickstarters, some classic stuff about arrays, linked lists, whatever. Comparisons, loops. You would have seen all that stuff before. Graphics and animation. Again, some of this stuff is new, some of this stuff is old. So camera basics is old, images is old, sprites is old. Understanding motion's a new one. Ball object, movement, main game loop, state machines, we've got some different stuff in there now, right? Yeah, main menu. It's like the pages aren't pretty, they're not as nice as what they probably could be, but my concern is to get this kind of information into the documentation so it's within one domain. It's not spread everywhere, which is what most of this stuff is, just spread examples that were either in the help files, hidden away, or on the websites, or I mean, who knows? Let's just double check this one here runs. Press space, create a ball. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So each character, each ball object has a creation process, an update process, and a delete, which is what this is all about here. It's the life cycle of a character within your game. There just happen to be some balls bouncing around. Go back from there. Bit on state machines, game loops. Now, I'm trying to, if I can drag things in from the forums and clean them up with AI, that's what I'm doing, right? Even that is pretty time consuming. It's not actually as fast as quick and easy as what I would have hoped, to be honest. Some new ones are in here, character life cycles as well. These are, again, these are things I've had written on the forums, brought them into the help files, parallax scrolling backgrounds. This one here is missing some pictures and a few links at the bottom there actually. Parallax scrolling is what I've just been doing tonight. Posted a video about it before. It's just a version of this. The whole scene is actually generated inside the program here. We'll have a bit of a look at it actually. Now we're here. Load it. We're creating the background layer, mountain layer in the scene, and the hilly layer at the front. That's the main loop there. Clearing the screen, moving the thing, wrapping it if we need to wrap it, and then drawing the layers over top of each other. So the background layer is opaque, and these are clear. So look, yep, there you go. So the sun's on layer 1, the mountain layer here is layer 2, and this kind of foreground layer here is layer 3. Just standard blitting, nothing special, but it's nice to have this stuff built into the documentation. Yeah, it's helpful. I would hope so anyway, because maybe those concepts are easy for most people to wrap their heads around, but maybe they're not easy for other people. So tutorials, we've got some more advanced stuff in here, using collision worlds for doing ray intersection, cameras, this kind of stuff. This is a rehash of another article that was in the old worlds section of the documentation. Some more stuff taken from the forums about should you use GOTOs, shouldn't you use GOTOs. Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. Some things on timer-based movement. Articles on there. This now means you can cut and paste these straight across. So you hit copy, go over here, and you should just be able to paste that wherever you like. Paste, yeah. The one downside of that is that not every code snippet in the help files is actually cut and paste friendly. Like some examples you'll see they might say load image, and they have like, rather than having an image that actually exists, it expects you to insert your own image that it can find on your machine. Sometimes it's that reason why I add the procedural background for Parallax demo, so I didn't have to supply images with it. The scrolling ones have scrolling. These do load standard background pictures that you would have seen before. They're just ones I've got laying around. So I've got seamless background scroll, so we'll cut that one. Where are we? Copy it, go up here, paste her into a project, bring it up to full screen again, and hit run, F5 if you don't know. This particular tutorial has 3 different versions of it. This is the first version. So we'll get out of that, go back to here. Example 1 is a very basic idea. Example 2 gives us an infinite scroll. Just paste, run. Anyone who's seen, the PlayBASIC stuff before, you would have seen this background. It's a very old one. I think Blink made it years ago. I'm not sure now. No, I think he did, yeah. So we always use the same backgrounds just to save space when producing those things, because images take up a lot of space. The scrolling one here, the last one, is a simple tile map, I think. Paste it, run it. Yeah, it's creating a tile map and just looping it through. It's kind of setting the idea for how scrolling works, just a displacement as we render. That's all it is. Alright, so we've got a live search now, so if you want to search for scroll, you could find something in there. This is doing a search on the title of the page, not the content. At least we're getting something, and it's a lot more immediate than the original search, which is still there, but doesn't seem to work now with the updated documentation. If I search for a word that I know exists, sprites. By now you would have had a bunch of matches, but it just doesn't seem to work. I don't know. Don't know what the deal is. It's probably just failing on the structure, maybe. Nonetheless. Anyway, so we're trawling through this tutorial section. We're trying to get as much of this stuff in the one spot as possible. That's all this is about. We've got a lot of the new features in the language have been documented. I think in graphics is one of them. It's the shade polygon stuff. Yeah, ShadeQuad. These are very hard to use. There really should be, I've thought about this for a while actually. You should be able to give a command like this, maybe a more generalized command, like a polygon command, a pointer to a structure or pointer to structures, or an internal buffer where it should read the data from, to eliminate the need for all of these parameters. There's too many of them. There's a bit of information about what's going on, what each vertex here is matching up as. What's the example for this one? No idea. Not a clue. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that one's broken, boys, girls. Draw rotated quad. Oh, that's actually that's the wrong example. There you go. Found another little problem. What this example should use is this command. So I would expect to find a usage of the shade texture quad. Sorry, the shade texture quad command, but it's not there. So there you go. Just how it is. What about this one here? What's that doing? Oh, that uses it. There you go. I think that's what's happened is this command is a copy of another command that probably already had this attached to it. So yeah. Got a bit of a cut and paste of that one there, thanks. Get rid of that. Get off there. You don't need that. Get off there too. We don't need that. Alright, dude. Chuck her in. Bit of control. V. Hit run. See what we get. Oh, there you go. I'll remember that now. So this vertice here is being coloured based on the mouse's position. Yeah, that's it. I didn't say it was a good example, but there is an example there of it being used, so that's good. We're making a checker box there. We could have used the generic image library to make that. That would have been handy. Yeah. Alrighty, I think we're out of steam and need some sleep. Anyway, that'll have to do us for today. I know it's going at a glacial pace. It's just the way this is. The scope of things is quite large. I've been doing a bit of work on. I wanted to use the IDE and the tools up here as a launcher to launch secondary tools from the IDE. I've not got this to work properly yet, and maybe it won't work from this IDE, so that might have to be a concept that gets held over. But anyway, we'll keep pressing forward. Look, to the people who have been testing the builds, thanks a lot. You know, that really helps. We're not hearing much back, so that's good. Things probably are working as you would expect, which is even better. Actually, in testing, I've been finding a bunch of old examples, and I'm like, wow, what the hell is this? This is what I found the other day. I don't think this runs out of the box. It's got a few different things in it. So bear with me for a second. No, it's full screen exclusive. Make that here. If it runs exclusive mode, it ruins the capture. So we'll try and compile it and run it. No, it doesn't like that. This was written a long time ago, so we've got these kind of, we're requesting a free index from the command set. In this case, it's the image command set, and we're creating one after that. These days, you would just do this. You just go, well, yeah, new image, whatever. Grab that thing, get rid of that. Yeah. And there's lots of little things like that inside the program that would same problem. Clearly at some point those parameters have been strictly marked as being integer only. They must have been back in the day. That's okay. Yeah, it's slightly annoying for old examples, particularly if that's your old code and you're going, well, hey, why does the new version of PlayBASIC not like my old program? It's a little GUI thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got slidery things. We're seeing 2 mouse pointers because the program was written to run full screen exclusive, so the Windows mouse pointer would be hidden in that case. It's got text. This is text. Even that's fascinating. I noticed that it was using the insert function, which is a text function, a string function. I've forgotten about it. I never use it myself. But there you go. It doesn't run fantastic, but I suspect it's doing a bunch of classic imaging kind of stuff rather than effects images. It's just how they go. But, you know, fascinating nonetheless. Fantastic. It's great seeing old examples, you know. As for how this works, you know, it's pretty much like most GUIs. There's a lot of code in them. And a lot of it's repetitive, but that's fine. Hopefully people are testing and doing stuff and testing away and making sure, just make sure it works with your stuff. A lot of things have changed, so make sure it works with your stuff before we go and build the final, because I don't really want to revisit this anytime soon. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.